As much of Mississippi is reopening, there are many asking whether it's happening too soon. Former Attorney General Jim Hood is among them and believes it could lead to a lot of lawsuits. He talked with our senior political correspondent, Gerald Harris.
Mississippi and many other states are reopening amid the threat of a coronavirus resurgence. State officials see that there will be more COVID-19 cases and deaths. That has a longtime state leader offering a stark warning.
You know, people are going to get sued because of the actions of politicians who are listening to the insurance companies and the moneyed interest rather than the doctors.
Jim Hood was elected 4 times as Mississippi Attorney General. This past November, he ran unsuccessfully for governor. Now, as a private attorney, he's talking about what the state needs to do to reopen with no liability.
It has been crystal clear. A state needs to have 2 weeks of no new additional cases. We need to make sure that we have doubled our testing, make sure that people have proper face coverage for those employees who come back to work, and that there's 6-foot distancing.
Hood adds that businesses could be inadvertently hurt worse after the pandemic.
What's happening is a lot of these businesses that are believing these politicians are going to wind up getting themselves sued. They're going to get sued by not only their employees, but they're also going to get sued by customers if they're not following the standard of care. And there again, the standard of care is not what some politician says. It's what the doctors have said.
But Governor Tate Reeves says businesses should be protected. He is calling on the legislature to enact a bill that would prevent lawsuits against small businesses.
I think that we should look into the potential of providing liability protection for a large number of different entities.
Trying to take the courthouse away from working people, one of the last places that a little guy can go fight is people are, instead of protesting in the streets about guns or opening up, they ought to be protesting about that, trying to take away our constitutional right to a trial by jury.
Hood, who now works at a Washington, D.C. based law firm, Weiss, Robb, Matisse & Copley, with an office in the Jackson area, says it's not about being litigious, it's about saving lives.
Employers don't want to kill people, but it's the same thing if you open up prematurely. It's the same thing as getting drunk in a car and going down the road. You didn't intend to kill somebody, but you did. And so people are going to be held responsible, and litigation is just, there's going to be a lot of it.
Hood adds, as AG, he tried to warn people not to do certain things to keep down litigation, and livelihoods are now on the line. In Jackson, Gerald Harris, 12 News.